Hello everyone, I'd like to thank you all so much for coming to support me in my age concern comedy challenge. I've got a lot of time on my hands since the Samaritans asked me to leave. I did try adult education, but words cannot describe the humiliation that was life-drawing for beginners. I know they say a bad workman blames his tools, but there are some images not even a 6B pencil can capture. After that, I had a brief foray into politics. I formed my own party, the Ruislip Reactionaries, and I stood against Boris Johnson in the election last year. He's done well, hasn't he? And then I tried first aid training, but I can't talk about that until after the court case. I think this is the point now when most comedians introduce themselves, so I'm just going to tell you about myself. My name's Sally, and I've been married to Roger for 26 years. Seems longer. I know when you've been with the same person for a long time, things can get a little stale in the sex department, but I was still very upset the other day when Roger said to me, "You're boring in bed. Why don't you ever surprise me? Dress up or something." So the next day when he got home from work, I did surprise him. I was wearing his mother's clothes. He wasn't laughing. I always thought he wanted me to be a bit more like you, see, but it didn't go down well. I think it was too soon after the funeral. Most of you think that's a bit unkind, I suppose. But Roger's been doing a number of things recently that really irritate me, like waking up. Having said that, his snoring is horrific, so it's touch and go, which is preferable. I think about leaving him often, but he couldn't manage on his own. For instance, the other day I gave him a shopping list and I sent him off to the supermarket. He was gone for 2.5 hours, and when he got back, the car boot was filled with 100 bread rolls. I had written loo rolls. I wasn't laughing. So then I had to get back in the car, drive back to Tesco's and do the shopping. And when I was there, I had to use the loo, and I was surprised to find there was a condom machine in the ladies at Tesco. I know, you're surprised, aren't you? You thought I shopped at Waitrose. Now, you've all been so lovely. I think it's time for me to tell you something. Actually, I've got a confession to make. I'm not meant to be here at all. I'm a stand-in comedian. My son's a stand-up comedian. He couldn't make it tonight. Now, I didn't want to let anybody down. He booked this gig months ago, so I thought I'd take his place. I've got his notebook here, and I'm going to try and do his act now. Right, thank you. The first thing he's written here is virginity. Well, as he's not sure, I think I can tell you. He was quite late losing his virginity. He had terrible acne when he was a teenager, you see, and I think it put the girls off. They couldn't see past it. So eventually my husband and I took him to our doctor, who prescribed these fantastic tablets, and they cleared Johnny's skin up just in time for him to go to Magaluf with his friends after the A-levels, and I gather there he made up for lost time. But then he had to visit another doctor when he got back. Now, you all seem lovely, so I'm going to tell you something else about myself, a bit personal. I was quite late losing my virginity too. I was 20. That's because I wanted the first one to be special. And he was. He had special requirements. By that I mean he could only become aroused if we made love outside. And I didn't mind that because I'm quite broad-minded, but we were going out in November. The one after that, he liked to cover me in baby oil while watching videos of 40 Towers. I was fine with that as well until he asked me to dress up as Manuel. I thought that was a step too far. My next boyfriend was a masochist and he begged me to hurt him, so I slept with his best friend. He wasn't laughing. He told me that wasn't what he meant, so I tried to think of something else. I waited and he videoed the whole of the Japanese Grand Prix, and then just as he sat down to watch it, I told him who won. I think one of the other reasons I didn't have sex when I was a teenager was my mum used to say to me, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And I'm not too good in the kitchen, but eventually I found out if you go down about 6 inches, it's a lot quicker, more effective, and you don't have to stand up for so long. Another thing my mother used to say, if she saw an ugly person walking down the road, was, well, he can't help what he looks like, but he could stay indoors. Tinder. No idea what that is. Oh, weed, oh, I do know what that is. In my day we used to call it dope. Now I don't smoke, I can't inhale, but I did have a boyfriend who gave me some dope in a cake once, and I ate this cake, and I went straight to sleep. And when I woke up, my boyfriend was watching the Muppets on television, and he was roaring with laughter. I joined in, and that's when I knew I was high. The Muppets are rubbish, aren't they? BJ. Well, when I first saw this, I thought he meant Boris Johnson. Because he doesn't like him. And then I thought, well, it could be bungee jumping, because that's one of his hobbies. And then I realised what he meant. Now, I'm not too keen on this, but Roger is, so I will oblige occasionally. Because I find afterwards, he's much more willing to clean the oven. Tip for you there, ladies. Roger's like a lot of men, I think. He thinks about sex when he's doing other things. I, on the other hand, think of other men. When I'm having sex with Roger, it's generally George Clooney. Sometimes it's Brad Pitt. The other day it was Simon Cowell. I know. In my defence, it was completely involuntary. I put it down to a combination of a dodgy curry and Roger's new underpants. I do my best not to overstimulate Roger, actually. And to that end, I only ever served him caffeinated coffee in the evenings, just to be on the safe side. But if I really want to dampen his ardour, I substitute his Viagra with laxatives. He'll thank me for it one day. Anal. Well, I am quite anal. I can't drink coffee out of a mug marked tea. I can't eat an after 8 mint until after 8 o'clock. And the other day I had a panic attack in Tesco's when I got to the checkout and all I had was Sainsbury's bags. Now this OCD has been getting me down, and it's obviously been bothering Johnny as well, or he wouldn't have written in his notebook, would he? So I'll have to have a word with him about it when I get home. And anyway, talking about going home, I've probably outstayed my welcome, so I better go. But before I do, I just need to tell you something. Johnny doesn't actually know I'm here tonight. I sneaked into his bedroom and grabbed his notebook while he was throwing up in the bathroom. Which I think he was throwing up, he could have been doing something else. And I grabbed the notebook and ran off with it. So if next week you come along to this lovely club and he's performing, don't give the game away. Don't say that I was here. And, I can see, yes, I think Roger's finished cleaning the oven by now. So I'm going to leave you. I'm Sally Firth, and you are lovely. Good night.